Welcome to the Soulful Summer Series, where it's not woo-woo, it's wow-wow. Hello everybody. Did you know that today nearly 2 out of 3 couples are choosing to get married outdoors versus indoors in a traditional religious setting? And as part of our Soulful Summer Series, this week our theme that we're looking at is Celebrate. And one of the things that I think many of us would agree is that when we think of the idea of celebrating, there is probably one of the more sacred opportunities to celebrate is a wedding ceremony. And so today we are going to go deeper into exploring why couples are choosing to get married outdoors with our special guest, Joseph Richard Pugni, who is the owner of Joseph Richard Florals in Armonk, New York, and he has over 30 years in the floral industry experience as well as being a landscape designer. And so it is with great pleasure that I share with you this interview with Joe, and we will take a look at why indeed couples are choosing to get married outdoors and what that experience is like. I know for myself, my husband and I got married outdoors on this beautiful beach that I have behind me in Turks and Caicos, and I will talk more about that in my blog. But for now, let's go over to Joe. Okay, so nature friends, here is the man I've been telling you about, Joseph Pugni.
Hi everyone.
And this is all of our nature lover friends out there. And Joseph, as I explained earlier, is the owner of Joseph Richard Florals here in my hometown of Armonk, New York. And I brought him in today because I think as we go through the Soulful Summer process, and this week we talk about celebrations, I think one of the things that's really fascinating is to notice how many people are doing sacred ceremonies outdoors in nature. And specifically today we're going to talk about weddings. So I wanted to get your take on what you're seeing in the trends in terms of people choosing to get married in a traditional religious setting versus outdoors.
Well, I've been doing weddings for probably about 30 years. And there was a time where they probably were 50% done in a church, and nowadays, the past maybe 6 years, they opt out. Nobody wants to do a ceremony in the church. They want more of an experience outside, where it's just their guests and family are a little bit more inclusive, and it just has a different vibe, an experience for everybody when it's outside, and they have their own vision of how they want it to be. It's a little bit more, some places it's a little more romantic, some are very like in a forest kind of situation, and a lot, mostly with water. Most people want to be by the water.
And that I think is a really fascinating point, because we're going to talk during the Soulful Summer series a little bit more about the water specifically, because it does hold traditionally a lot of sacred, like you talk about vibe. A lot of people talk about how people feel like when they're in the water in some ways, whether it be a warm bath or now they have the floating sessions, that they feel like they return to the room. It's very calming and peaceful. So tell me a little bit more when you say they're outdoors and they're having more people, feeling more inclusive. Does it feel more, I would think, as someone who got outside, married outdoors myself, is that I felt like I had more room to create the experience that I wanted versus the traditional situation, which I just want to say that whatever works for you, we always say do you, and that's fine. This isn't anti-religion. This is just looking at how spiritually we are growing, whether it be adding to our traditional religious things that we practice or opting out altogether and doing something totally different. So,
well, yeah, definitely. Once you decide, the couple decides that it's going to be outdoors, of course, weather is a huge factor. always makes me a little nervous and wary because depending on the installation, it could be very involved, and then you always have to have a backup for an indoor setup. But mostly when they want it outside, they're looking for it to be, I don't know, more organic, more part of the scene, part of it, not so much the bows and all that unsustainable product that comes along with, let's say, a more traditional indoor wedding. There's not big candles and that type of thing. It's more like what they do like is the candles, but like in a cylinder going down the aisle. And they also pick a time when they know that the sun has gone down just right. There's a lot of details that they get into when they do it outside as opposed to inside. And like I said, the water thing is always nice because, especially when you can hear it, and it becomes part of the background, especially when it's the ocean. It's like beautiful. I did a wedding down in Mexico, and the backdrop, it was just amazing. And you could just see everybody's reaction and the way they were feeling because they were in this beautiful setting. All you saw was the ocean, and we did flower installation on the bottom instead of on the top that would obstruct the view. So it really is about incorporating your background, and that's kind of what they're looking for whenever we do something outside. Whereas, the church, it's beautiful, and I love a church wedding, but you know what? It's going to have two things. It's arrangement on the side. They don't even do the aisle runner anymore. A lot of girls have opted out the runner. They don't want that kind of distraction. And another thing we stress also is we do ask that they ask their guests to put the phones down. It's pretty important so they can really experience, oh my God, the moment. When the bride comes down with her father or her parents, and when everybody's engaged, it's amazing, as opposed to people jumping out with their phones. It's huge.
You're absolutely right. My niece got married outdoors recently, and her theme was sunflowers, and it was gorgeous, and you happen to have some beautiful sunflowers. One of the things I always love about stopping here is just looking at the cooler and the flowers, because I could just sit here, and I wrote a blog about this, about why I buy myself flowers, and you might too, and basically it was that as someone who is clairsentient or highly sensitive, is what they call it, the energy I can feel, and I feel like I plug myself in when I see flowers, because there is something. What do you think it is about flowers that are like a necessity in a wedding?
God, it's like God's gift. It's just amazing. Even as many years as being in the business, I could still look in the cooler or be outside and look at a garden and be amazed and get that feeling of like, wow, there's something bigger than us. Like, why? Why would something be so beautiful?
Yeah.
So I get that experience. And also when you're giving flowers, nothing's better than giving. I've never given somebody flowers or gone to a delivery where they weren't excited or it, brightened their day. They were so, oh my God, for me? Yeah. Even when you're delivering to, let's say, in a hospital or somewhere, 3 or 4 people will walk by, oh, those for me? Hoping that they're for them. And I'm always like, sorry, not for you.
Well, and I could say one thing about your flowers is nothing leaves here that isn't amazing.
Yeah. We have amazing designers.
Amazing designers and amazing suppliers, and the flowers are fresh. It's not like you stuff like
no, never.
1 week old
Nope.
just to
never
money
never happened.
They're gorgeous. Back to the water. I always say that nature is my church and the ocean is my cathedral. So when you talk about like setting in Mexico, that must have been
my God, it's beautiful. I wish I could show you a picture. It was just the bride and groom were gorgeous, and then the everything she put together. She did the reception followed right after, and she put on the ceiling of the outdoor tent this flowing fabric that, oh my God, it just, everything was perfect for an outdoor wedding. Beautiful.
Tell me which one is
So we will incorporate some pictures of you.
Oh, okay. Great. Oh, yeah, you can appreciate that.
Into this because I think there's nothing like seeing to believe.
Beautiful.
And then I wanted to talk to you on a more personal note. I know that you have very, there's different words for it.
Okay.
A lot of our people call it divine download. And when you're in nature and then all of a sudden something just presents itself, information, we say it's often information you didn't even know you had the question to.
Thank you.
And I know you had an experience in Africa about that.
Oh yeah, for sure. When I took a trip to Africa about 9-10 years ago, and I was going through a time, I guess, I don't know. All I know is we were in, I forgot wherever the big ocean was, and the waves were huge, and I just was drawn down to the ocean, and was down there and just amazed by it, and I got such a feeling of like, if not now, when? So I came home, made some decisions, and changed my life big time. Some personal choices.
I appreciate it.
And it was an experience that I still talk about today. Just being in that moment. Cape Town, that's where I was. And my God, it was amazing to see.
It's almost like, I don't know if the word is permission or reality jolt.
Yeah, something like that. Just very, oh my God, I was inspired. A lot of different emotions. I just knew. Actually, I came to the conclusion I really like being by myself, being with myself. And I was just like, oh, all right. This was a great experience, and I just embraced it, and I can still get that feeling today when I think about it.
I wholeheartedly understand what you're saying, and that is part of what we're trying to invite people to do more of, being okay with being alone.
Oh, yeah.
And I always say alone but not lonely.
Right.
And being really good in your own skin, and I think that's one of the things that nature really it teaches us and invites us to do. Hello again. So back to our theme here of what we're talking about feeling good in our own skin, feeling content being alone when we're in nature, because you're not really alone.
No, not at all. Not at all. Your mind is observing things. I have my own personal garden at home that I spend a lot of time in, and time passes so quickly when I'm in there. And all I'm doing is looking, planning, enjoying my garden, and it's very fulfilling. It's a lot of work, but it's still, at the same time, I can't wait to get out there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So. It's I always say one of my sayings is nature is our unconditional friend.
Yeah, for sure.
And that no matter what emotion we're feeling, she welcomes us. She holds the space. Whether we're in a good mood, whether we're in a bad mood, whether we're grieving. I know there was one day, I was talking about being out in your garden, I was having one of those funk days, and I went outside, and I was just sitting there with a cup of tea, and I swear, all of a sudden, this hummingbird just zoomed in and looked right at me, and then just popped around all the flowers, and I was so...
Like it was for you.
Yeah, exactly, like it was for me, but also it just instantly jolted me out of the funk, and I was joyful again, and then the rest of my day was totally different.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And even, it doesn't matter what time of day, even at night, I can go out there and enjoy the garden, peaceful, the fountain, just sit there, preferably with a glass of wine. But seriously, I just sit there and I just think about the day.
Yeah, nice.
And it's, then I just, okay, that's enough. I'm going to go inside and go to bed now.
Well, and what you're saying about reflecting and taking time at the end of the day to be outside and look at the stars and the wonder and all of that is, especially being a business owner, where there's, it never stops.
Never stops.
It never stops.
Never stops.
You're always thinking, well, what do I got to do next, and who do I got to take care of, and blah blah blah. And so to be able to use nature to help balance all that, I'm sure is terrific.
Oh yeah, and speaking of all the grieving, and I also have another business that caters to a cemetery business, and I could write a book on how people deal with their grieving when they come in to buy flowers. Always buy flowers before they go to the cemetery. And I always say they're not really doing it for the person who passed away. It's for themselves, because it makes them feel good. This is all I can do. And what a beautiful thing to bring flowers. You feel good, and you feel like you honored who's you lost. And it's just amazing to watch people do their grieving, and in a way we are helping them with it. But for their experience when they come in there, we know for the most part that they lost somebody, someone important enough that you're going to go to the cemetery and visit and bring flowers.
Yeah, beautiful.
So again, that's where the flowers obviously create an emotion and help them in that grieving process.
It's really magical.
Right.
Yeah. We are, one of the themes in the SoulFULL Summer series is it's not woo-woo, it's wow-wow.
Yeah. Oh, that's
and
cool.
I like to think, or at least I believe, that not only does bringing flowers when I go to the grave help me process and grieve and be there, but also that I believe that somewhere they're seeing it. The
Possibly,
people
yeah, possibly.
I'm bringing them for. So,
I mean, even if it's a single flower, it's the feeling is, even when they come in and buy just a single flower, the fact that they're stopping just to get one flower because they feel that need that they have to bring something.
and especially if you knew what their favorite flower was.
Oh yeah, forget it. Right.
Yeah. Well, listen, this has been really insightful, and I really appreciate your time. And tell us a little bit about how people can find you and what you serve and where you serve.
Well, we're here in this location where is Westchester County, Armonk, New York. We're open 6 days a week, closed only on Sundays, open every holiday. And we're called Joseph Richard Florals. That's me, Joseph Richard. And we've been in business just about 15 years now. And our other location is in Valhalla, New York. It's called Grey Rock Florist. And in that business, we do floral arrangements, events there, but mostly for people going to the cemetery. Here in Armonk, we do a lot of daily deliveries and also bar mitzvahs, weddings, any special occasion we're available. And it's just, again, one of those things, where flowers you bring into a space, a big space like a wedding or the ceremony, and you transform it, and it's very satisfying when we go into an empty canvas, and then when we leave, between us and the event planner, and then you walk away and you're just like, wow, look at that. Wow. And then to see the client cry sometimes because they're overwhelmed with emotion about what we did and created. We created something, right?
Yeah.
So it's very rewarding. A lot of work, but it's rewarding.
And so it sounds like, if you've gone to Mexico, you service pretty much.
Yeah, we go anywhere.
You go
anywhere.
So they make things happen. So thank you again for your
Thank
wonderful
you.
time.
Thanks for having me. This has been fun.
And we are going to segue to some examples of what you've put together, just so people can enjoy it. And we have to say a shout out to our wonderful designers in the back there. Anybody want to say anything?
So you guys want to say hi?
Because it doesn't happen without them. They're exceptionally creative.
Very lucky.
And just amazing what they do.
Yeah.
So
beautiful.
thank you again for watching, and stay to watch the beautiful options that they create.
Thank you.